So how's it going, everybody? Zacy here today with another LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight video here for you guys. So we know this game is drawing inspiration from all different types of Batman media and compiling them all together in one big story. In particular, it looks like we'll be seeing a huge emphasis on moments from the movies. For example, it looks like we'll see Penguin start off like Colin Farrell's portrayal of the character and evolve throughout the story into being more like Danny DeVito's Penguin. This could also be said for the Joker, as we see Jack Nicholson's, Heath Ledger's, and a glimpse of the Arkham series Joker in this game. Although, that could be a topic for another video for another day. Another villain that we've seen multiple live action adaptations of though, is Bane. Notably with Bane though, we've just been seeing stuff of him strictly in his Dark Knight Rises mode. This has left many fans wondering if we'll see him represented in the Batman and Robin section of the story. The plot to the film is basically that Batman and Robin have to defend Gotham City from Mr. Freeze, who plans to freeze the city, and Poison Ivy, who intends to destroy humanity with mutant plants and her venomous kiss. The two villains form a plan to work together, where they also work alongside Bane to be an enforcer and brute for them. The thing is, Batman and Robin will be getting some love in this game here, as we see stuff of Arnold's Mr. Freeze with him breaking into the museum. We see Batman and Robin inside of Poison Ivy's hideout in the Botanical Gardens fighting her henchmen. And we see Batman fighting Freeze's henchmen in the area where the finale of the movie takes place. So it's safe to say this movie could play a bigger part of the story. But this leads me to the question of, will Bane still be an enforcer for the pair of villains during this part of the story? I personally think he won't, since Bane in Batman and Robin is basically a completely different villain than he is in The Dark Knight Rises, which is the version of Bane we know we're going to be getting in this game. Instead, I think this brute enforcer role will be given to Firefly. Firefly, most commonly known as Garfield Linz, is one of Batman's most visual striking enemies. He's a former special effects expert and pyrotechnician. Linz turned his obsession with fire into something far more dangerous, weaponizing it. After a life of crime and failure, he reinvented himself as Firefly, a high-tech arsonist armed with a flamethrower and a jetpack that lets him rain fire from above. Firefly's story has changed lots over time, but his core is always the same. He's obsessed with flames. In some versions, Firefly is driven by greed, using fire to cover up robberies. In other, especially modern takes, he's portrayed as a deeply disturbed, seeing fire not just as a tool, but as something beautiful, even alive. That obsession he has with fire though just makes him unpredictable. He doesn't just want to burn Gotham, he wants to watch it burn. So essentially, I think Firefly will take on the role of Bane during this part of the story, and some footage we've seen kind of proves that. In a recent clip showing us some new Batgirl gameplay, it showed Firefly escaping Batgirl and Batman. Also in the clip, Batgirl showed off new tech to Batman, which Batgirl showing off new abilities suggests this is the part of the story that she'll be introduced in. Notably, Batgirl also plays a part in the Batman and Robin movie, as that's her origin story. So Firefly being a villain around this time of the story makes sense. Also throughout this clip, we can see they're clearly in a museum because of the sauropod dinosaur in the background. Now, does this remind you of anything?
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
That's right, this is the same museum that we'll see Mr. Freeze break into. So to me, this all but confirms we'll see Firefly replacing Bane's role during the Batman and Robin part of this game. I also think Firefly is a great villain selection for this part of the story because it also pays homage to the cancelled Batgirl movie that he was supposed to be the main villain in. And this is when Batgirl will be introduced in the game, so it just makes too much sense. And with that, I rest my case. Let me know in the comments what you think of my Firefly theory for this game, and also let me know what villains you want in LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight that haven't been announced yet. Me personally, I really want Killer Croc in this game. To be honest though, it was actually a couple of you guys that pointed this theory in my direction with my comments, and I really appreciate you guys doing that, because the second that most recent Batgirl gameplay clip came out and I saw the dinosaur in the background, it didn't fully click in my head until someone mentioned it in a comment section that is the same museum that we see Batman and Robin in the Batman and Robin movie against Mr. Freeze. And we have seen clips of Mr. Freeze with his drill machine that he has in that movie in the Arnold suit. So I just pieced everything together. Unless there's multiple missions in this museum and Batgirl is just coincidentally like in that mission, it all makes too much sense to me. At first, I was kind of like, It doesn't make a lot of sense to me why Firefly would replace it, but then just after I sat on it and I thought about it, I'm like, this makes way too much sense. On top of that, they're pulling a lot of inspiration from the movies. I thought Firefly was kind of random to begin with. My whole time I was just trying to justify him being in this game just as a reference to the Batgirl movie we never got. But in the same way, it kind of is a reference to that movie with him being the villain that was selected, because it's the two of them against each other when they're both being introduced into the game, if my predictions are right. But anyways, like I said, y'all, I want you guys to leave a comment down below on what you think of my version of this theory, and comment down below again what type of villains or what villains you want in this game, because right now my top 3 would be Killer Croc, Hush, and the Court of Owls. They're the villains I want to see most in this game. I'm also trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's just been a dream of mine to do YouTube, so I'd really appreciate if you help me with my journey. I'm going to be making videos about all things LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, from updates to a Let's Play series when this game comes out. I really can't wait. Anyways, y'all, I'm Zacy, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.